Morning everyone. So today's video is going to be covering command line interface, or CLI, and some of the basic commands that are used throughout your networking career. We are going to cover Ipconfig, and we are going to cover ping command, we are going to cover net command, and we are also going to cover the traceroute command. So let's jump right into the terminal. Okay, let's go over the command line interface. There are multiple ways to get to one. The one we're going to talk about right now is you hit the start button, and just anywhere in there, just start typing CMD. This gives you the command prompt app, and you can run this as just a regular user, which is just open, or run as administrator. I recommend running it as the administrator when you're on the help desk and such, because it gives you more power to be able to run the executables and make changes to a system. Click that. It is going to pop up a Windows command processor, verified publisher, Windows. Do you want to make changes to your device? Yes. Or allow this to make changes to your device? Yes. So the next way to get to it is you can go down here and on your keyboard press the Windows key and the R key. And what that does is that brings up the run command. And you can type in CMD here, hit OK. The problem with this is it brings up just a standard user. Quickest way to tell is, as you can see here, it says C:/users/Robert. That shows that it's under a user's profile. If it says C:/Windows/System32, you are under the administrative access. So we don't want user access, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And as you see up here, it also says administrator command prompt. The other one I like to use is if you right click on the start, you have PowerShell. Now PowerShell is what's being pushed as the new command line interface. So you click on the administrative one, it's going to pop up the same window. Do you want it to make changes to your system, etc.? You select yes on that, because the whole idea of using this is to make changes to the system. As you can see, it shows PS for PowerShell, and then it gives the path. And if you notice, it's Windows System32 path, and up here it also says administrator, Windows PowerShell. With that in mind, remember you are under an administrative account. You can make changes. That's my disclaimer. Now I use PowerShell because it is an avenue I want to learn, and it is an avenue that is being used more frequently in the IT environment. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the commands we've got going on. The first one I'd like to show you and demonstrate some of the things on is Ipconfig. This command will show you details about the NIC, or the network interface card, in that system. But to get all the commands, you just do a /?, and it will list off everything that you can do. Now, the most common ones are the all, the release, renew, flush DNS, and register DNS. I have not played around with too many of the others. However, those are the ones I use frequently at work. Let's go down here, and first of all, let's show you CLS. Clear screen, boom, gone. Okay, so Ipconfig with no switches brings up my NIC. So up here, you see Ethernet adapter Ethernet. It gives you specifics about the DNS, the IPv6 address, IPv4 address, as well as the subnet mask and default gateway associated with the Ethernet card in your computer. It will also give you the Wi-Fi statistics for your adapters, as well as the Bluetooth or any other network interface card in your system. But this gives you a quick rundown, and as you can see, my Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are all disconnected. To get more details on your adapter, you can easily just type in Ipconfig/all, and this will display all the information about each card in your system. So as you can see, it also displays the physical address, or the MAC of the NIC card. It tells you who made it. So if you want to find out if the drivers are up to date, you can go through and actually find out who made it and get information straight from their website. Now this also goes into a lot more details like DHCP server address, information about your DNS servers. It will tell you if DHCP is actually enabled, And then it will also give you, even though the media is disconnected, it will give you the MAC addresses for your other devices and are the manufacturer. It's good information to have for troubleshooting. Okay, so now that we've covered that, let's go ahead and get us some more real estate here to play around with. We are going to do ipconfig/release. Now, before I hit enter, what this is going to do is this is going to release my IP address and allow me to pick up a new one. You will use this a lot in an environment that runs dynamic IP address. If you're running static, this will do absolutely nothing because your IP address is actually coded into the system. You typed it in, or another admin or another help desk person typed in an IP address to make sure that computer only pulls that address every time it starts up. This is for the people or the environments that have a dynamic environment where your IP address is pulled from the DHCP server. If you hit release, it goes through, and as you can see, I no longer have anything on my Ethernet adapter. I have my local IPv6, but I don't have my IPv4. To get my IPv4, I can either up arrow and backspace and type in renew, or I can type in ipconfig/renew and get the same result. So now when I hit enter, it is going to go out, it's going to send a request for a DHCP server, and get the information it needs. First responding DHCP server will give you the IP address of the network. So you can have multiple servers on the network to be able to cut down network traffic. And as you can see, it gave me all my information back, so we're good to go. Let's get a little bit more real estate here. Okay, so the next one is going to be ipconfig/flush DNS. What this will do is this will flush your local DNS. The reason you would want to flush your local DNS is because you're not able to hit, let's say, Google, for instance, because somehow your DNS became corrupt and it's now pointing towards Yahoo. So you would go through and you do this, it would wipe your cache clean. Now that causes a problem too, because now you can't do other things within your network. But to be able to get some of your functionality back, you'd want to do ipconfig/register DNS. And that's going to go out and register with your local DNS host. That way you can start getting records for places you visit more frequently. Okay, I think that covers that for ipconfig. Let's touch on the net command. So we're going to do net /?. That gives us a rough idea of what you can use, what switches you can use with the net command. The common ones I use at work, you've got the net use, which will show you any mapped drive you have or any mapped drive that current user has. We have the net user, which will show all the user accounts on that system. The net user command is not very helpful for a domain environment. Currently, I'm not in a domain environment. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you is relevant and some of it is not. The net use command, so the net use is going to show you all your mapped drives. We're going to go down here and we're going to go to net use/help. This is one of the commands that I've been actively using more and more because it shows me a mapped drive. It shows me how to remove the mapped drive if I'm having a problem with the end user being able to access that drive. It also allows me to go through and recreate that drive for the user. Now, the quick way to do this is, as you can see through here, it gives you a quick rundown of everything that you can do with it. You have your net use command, the device name, the computer name, the share, the volume, password. So up here under net use help, it gives the device name, the whack computer name, whack share name, whack volume, password. So under the user, you can do domain name, dotted domain name, fully qualified username, smart card and stuff like that. Now we're going to go through, we're going to create a quick map. So we're going to go net use, let's call it T, and then we're going to go to my server, which is 192.168.0.6, and we're going to go to the apps folder. This is going to pop up and ask me the username for the server, or wherever the share you're trying to attach is located. You need to have the username for that unit, that device, that PC, that server, whatever it is. Here then it's going to ask for your password. Make sure you know it. And if you're doing this for an end user, they can type this stuff in. Boom. So now it shows that we are connected to that. Just verify, go to net use. There it is. So you can see the status is good. It is located on the local T mapped drive. This is the remote of where it's actually at, and this is the network type. If we decide that the user doesn't want that anymore, it's very easy to just net use / delete T, and that will get rid of T. If you notice, it's no longer there. This is a good way to assist a user by remoting in and mapping or unmapping network drives. If they're having a problem connecting, you unmap the drive, you reconnect the drive, and see if that cures it. Let's go over the ping command. So what is the ping command? The ping command verifies IP level connectivity to another TCP IP computer by sending Internet Control Message Protocol or ICMP echo request messages. So what's that mean in layman's terms? That checks your connectivity to another device. Can you talk to it? Can you see it? Some devices on your network, mostly Internet of Things, do not respond to ICMP messages to prevent network traffic. Let's cover some of the basic ones. The first one that you use a lot in a troubleshooting environment is my NIC card actually doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So we go ping 127.0.0.1. This is the loopback for your own network interface card. And as you can see, we're getting a reply. So what's that tell us? That tells us that our NIC is doing what it's supposed to be doing. It understands that the traffic going out and coming back in are being properly converted or used or disseminated, or however you want to word it. It means your NIC is functioning. So now that we've confirmed that, let's see if we can ping something else out there. Let's ping, let's do the server, just for giggles. So this is my own server on my network, and as you can see, we can actually talk to it. So with this, we know that between our system and the server is good connectivity. We can see it essentially. Now the next step is, what if we don't know the IP address? Can we ping just a name? So let's see if we can ping google.com. Look at that, we can ping google.com. Now, if you know the IP address but not the name of a device, you can do a ping-a and then put in the IP address. So let's go back to the server and see. So as you can see, let's let it finish. As you can see right here, it shows the name. So pinging Skynet 192.168.0.6, and it came back as good. So we have a good connection between us and Skynet. Now technically, I don't know if this is going to work. Ping Skynet. There we go. So we got a response from Skynet. The funny part is it used IPv6. Interesting. I'll have to go research that. I'm not sure why it would do that automatically. I know you can force it right here to use 4. So let's try that. Ping-4 Skynet. There we go. That allowed us to ping it on the IPv4 range. So let's say you're troubleshooting a printer. You've got to reboot that printer, but you want to make sure that it actually reboots and that you're not just guessing. Did it reboot? I don't know. Let's see. Easy way to do that is you do a ping-t, which means it will continually ping until you do a Control-C or a Control break on the keyboard. So now, yeah, my poor server. Let's go ahead and use it again. So as you can watch, there's the 4, 5, 6. It will continue going. Now give me 1 second. We're going to show. Now, if it rebooted, this is what you'd be getting. Okay, it's no longer online. All I did was unplug my network cord. But watch, and you'll see it come back online. So if the system was rebooting, you would get this break saying, oh, I'm no longer online. And then when you come back, when it comes back online, you can actually see that you had that reboot. Now we'll do a Control-C. And this, sometimes if you've got this up in the corner while you're working on other things, you may not notice this, but you can scroll up and down in these windows as well. You can also increase the buffer or the page that it holds, how many lines it will actually be able to retrieve. So, but as you can see, you get the reply, system reboots, no reply, until the NIC comes back online, and then you get a reply. So it's a quick, easy way to make sure that when you hit the reboot command remotely, that the system you rebooted actually comes back online. I've had a couple cases where I've done this command to troubleshoot as I'm patching a system, accidentally did the shutdown command instead of the reboot command. And this was the only way I knew that it was not coming back online, and that I had to go on site and reboot that computer manually before the user came into work. Now this was when I was doing night patching. So that is a quick rundown of the ping command. It is a very useful command to know in the IT toolkit. Okay, let's cover a quick little tool that is very important, Tracert. Now in Windows it's done Tracert. In Linux, if I remember correct, it's actually spelled out as Tracert. But since I'm on a Windows box, we're going to do this way. Tracert / ? This gives us the basics of what you can do with it. You can do a list of people that you trace. So on a trace route, essentially what you're trying to do is make sure that the route between your device and the device that you're trying to get resources from is good, and where is it going. So if we do a trace route to, let's say, Google, we're going to see everywhere it goes outside to get to it. So as you can see, we go through my local provider and then who they get their service through. As you can also tell, it is resolving the IP addresses into the actual name. And there we go. So it's got 9 hops between me and the nearest Google server, which looks like it's in Seattle, Washington. Now, let's see if we can get the local. So this is my server. Oh, nope. Screwed that up. That was my default gateway. But again, it just shows the one route. So if I wanted to actually see my server, I hit the up arrow, I can backspace and type in a new one. Again, only 1 hop for either one of them. So, but it's a really quick way to see if there might be an issue between A and Z. You can tell where it's going, and these routes will change. They are dynamic, they are not static. A lot of times, given a couple minutes, the route will actually change. It will take the quickest route from A to Z. Not necessarily the shortest, but the quickest. Okay, and that covers some of the basic commands on a Windows machine that you will use during your career in technology. So what we'd covered is we'd covered the Windows 10 box, because that's what I currently use. To get more information and better understanding of these commands, I do recommend going to the Microsoft website and go to their command section, their documentation area, and there's an abundance of commands we haven't even touched on. Now, I will go over more of these in other videos. The commands I showed you today are the ones that I use more than anything else right now. And remember, everything I showed you today, I did in the PowerShell command window here. PowerShell is the way the Microsoft area is going. It's a great language to understand. As more and more things turn towards automation, you're going to find yourself using things like PowerShell, Python, coding environments. And understanding some of these commands are going to help that transition become a lot less stressful for you. Stay tuned for more information and more help in a technology environment. Talk to you later.